The Institute is constantly seeking to improve our industry through our comprehensive peer group program, to the training that we provide, as well as the people that we put in front of you guys. Much like sharing, the experience and knowledge from somebody like Alex, I couldn't be more happy to introduce this to all of you. So without further ado, here is Alex Saladna from Reconcile.
Yes, thank you, Kent. Thank you so much for that intro. Yeah, really excited to be here today. Really excited to tell you a little bit about what it is we are all about at Reconcile. Like you put it, this is something that is founded and designed for a car shop owner like yourself. And actually, one of our co-founders has owned and managed shops for 40 plus years. And this idea for it really came from the need that every car shop owner comes from, which is, they get into this business because they like to fix things. They, want to help improve their customers and make their lives better and, provide that service to them. The customer satisfaction is a huge reward for them. But, the one thing I never, ever hear about is nobody gets into this because they enjoy paperwork. And it's something that, as our co-founders, he scaled his business, and as he got more experience in this, he started to have a lot of issues, managing paperwork and managing just the flow of money as it goes down the gumball machine through his business. And it can really, the whole process look a lot like this, where you have, just all these hoops that you have to jump through in order to simply track what it is you're buying and seeing if it's generating a profit, or what it is you're even returning to see if you get credited back. And that's when we realized that there's got to be an easier way for this, and there's got to be a better solution to help shop owners. And so this is where the idea for Reconcile came from. And Reconcile is a pretty cool system because it allows us to touch a lot of different points in the business. So first and foremost, we take in all of the documents that you have, all of those invoices, the statements, the credits, the RMAs. All of these documents represent data and insights for the shop owners and the bookkeepers and everyone involved in the business. So we make it as easy as possible to upload those documents. So using Reconcile, you can email them to us. So you could actually give your vendors an email address that is generated by Reconcile. And the moment they email that statement or invoice, it's immediately uploaded to the system. It's entirely paperless. We also integrate with Dropbox. If you have a scanner, we allow the users to scan those documents up. And we actually have an auto uploader that immediately sends that document straight to Reconcile. So all you have to do is hit scan and forget. And we also integrate with shop management solutions. So today we integrate with Mitchell and Techmetric. We're very close to setting up integrations with Napa Tracks and Shopware, and those will be coming out very, very soon. And we take that data, the customer invoices, and actually integrate with that system, pull those in automatically, and start to correlate that data. And then we also look at things like your financial information, like your bank statements, your credit card statements, and we actually bring that data in as well and allow you to understand, okay, at the end of the day, is everything that I'm buying from my vendors matching up to what I'm selling to my customers? Is there anything that's being left out? Anything that's not generating a profit? In addition, when I'm getting stuff from my vendors, am I being charged shipping when I'm not supposed to be? Or are they charging me tax on wholesale purchases? All of these things translate into profit for the shop owners, and we want to make it as easy as possible to track all of this information. And then we bubble all of that up to the transactional documents that you have. So all of those transactions that you're processing, that your accountant's probably handling, well, we want to understand, are all of these documents that you're getting matching up to those as well? Or is there anything being left out? And what this means for our customers is huge savings, not just in time, but in value as well. So using Reconcile, we actually see a 90% decrease in the time to search for documents. So if you're a shop manager and an owner, and it's that peak hour of the day or of the week, and you have customers coming in and out, and suddenly someone calls about a warranty, and you have to look up that invoice or that PO, that means it takes 1/10 of the time that it used to find that document. So you can immediately find it, email it to whoever you need to, and focus on working with the customer again. That's at your front desk. We also reduce the amount of time to complete those repetitive back office tasks by as much as 50%. And that makes statements, handling invoices, those RMAs, so much easier. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that 50% actually looks like in a second. And then last but not least, some of our customers have actually seen upwards to $4,000 in profit driven because of them discovering shipping charges or tax charges that are being included on their invoices when they're not supposed to be, or even duplicate items on their statements that were carried over from previous months. All of these things translate to real value for the customer, and these are all things that Wikidfile can help you track. So without further ado, I'm going to jump over to our view. And right here, you can see this is Wikidfile. And as one of my customers politely told me once, it is a very, very boring UI. And we like it that way because boring is simple. And we want it to be as easy as possible for everybody to get involved with this system. So with all of these documents that we're uploading, and today we have about 46,000 documents in the system, we can search for anything we want. So in this example, I'm just going to type in oil pan gasket. I'm going to hit enter. And immediately Wikidfile is going to parse across all of my tens of thousands of documents and immediately show me results that match it. Almost like I'm searching for a website on Google. From there, I could filter by time frame. So maybe we just want to look at our vendor invoices. I just want to look at what I'm buying. I could filter by time, or if I have multiple locations, I could even filter by the location as well. Once I'm happy with what I'm searching for, I can open up that document and I can immediately see what it is that I was searching for, which in this case, it was an oil pan gasket. Additionally, you can search by anything on the document. In fact, if I came back to the home screen, I could type in a number associated with one of my RMAs right here and immediately search for that document. We can see the RMA immediately pops up. And this is something I always like to highlight. Not all documents are pretty like what we saw earlier. Some of them are really, really bad. And this one takes the cake as one of the worst documents. But, there could be oil splotches on them. There could be a lot of issues. But Wikidfile is very powerful at searching and very powerful at finding your documents. And you can see right here, that number that we were searching for is right here at the top right corner. So at this point, we've searched across a lot of different documents, but what are we actually doing with these? How are we generating value? Well, what I mentioned earlier was we were good at helping find things like returns. And we actually have a built-in return tracker that can help manage that for you. So one of the things we hear about all the time from our car shops is I need to be able to track and understand everything that's coming in and out of my shop. And so we can see right here all of the different RMAs that have been generated. And I'm just going to jump over to the last month. So we're looking at a little bit more of a historical view. And I can now see I have a couple of RMAs that I haven't seen any credits back for yet. And if I was a bookkeeper, I could approve those if I knew they did get credited, or maybe there wasn't a credit statement issued. Or I could also look and see which credits have matched. And so if I'm returning cores or other documents, this becomes significantly easier to track where are my returns going. And just to show you right here, if I type in the word core, we can see here's an example of a core that we sent back. I can actually open up this RMA right here. We can immediately view that document that we sent back, and you can see where it was signed for. And I can click on the credit. And now I can see that credit that was issued as well associated with that return. Return management now takes significantly less time. And if your vendor isn't issuing you a return or an RMA, you can create your own RMA on the system and immediately print it out and put it on top of the stack. And that RMA that you create is immediately saved in our system. So all of these best practices that are associated with your RMAs become much, much easier. On top of that, I mentioned shipping and tax. Shipping and tax are very, very simple. I come over to my parts view and I can click on my taxes. And let's just filter by maybe one of our other shops and look at a custom time frame. With the time picker, I can specify any time frame that I want. I could make it, a year's worth of a view, or I could filter that down and make it what have I seen in the last couple of days. Regardless, once you're happy with what you're searching for, we can immediately look and see, in the past couple months, we've had almost $500 in taxes charged. Some of the stuff is legit, like shop supplies. And you can see right here, we have a couple listed under the PO number. But if you notice, I have some tax charges from a dealership. If I open this up, we can immediately see a dealership where they charged me $37 in taxes on a part that was wholesale, on something that they shouldn't have charged sales tax on. So this is a real example of what one of our shops have seen. And they were actually able to get refunded from the vendor by sending these invoices back to them. And they were able to quickly gather all of these together using Wicked.File. And any document that you have, you can download. If I click the download page right here, we can immediately download that invoice. On the shipping side, it's a similar story. You can see we have $749 of shipping. And you can see there's different vendors who we might have deals with not to charge shipping, who are charging shipping. One of our customers, they're an AMCO here in Georgia, they actually found several instances where they were being charged $150 in transmission shipping charges. And while that might make sense at the surface, the thing is, this company that was charging them that shipping was a mile down the road, and they were delivering it on the back of a pickup truck every single day. So not only were these charges adding up, but $150 was overkill for what they were having to pay. Well, they reached out to the dealer about this. They were able to pull up all of the invoices that they found that represented that instance, and they were immediately refunded for all of those charges. And they were able to quickly find those using Wicked.File. Last but not least, on the parts match side, we can also view all of our different vendor invoices and all of our different customer invoices to know, is everything that I'm buying actually generating a profit? So I'm going to just look at the last month. We're going to edit that time picker again. And I'm just going to click search. And we can see that I have a lot of different items on here that are not matched up to a customer invoice. Now, some of these are stock items, so it might make sense. But the nice thing about Wicked.File is we make it easy to quickly scan through all of these and understand if there's anything that's sticking out, like a water pump or some other part that typically isn't going to be sitting in stock. Additionally, I can see all of the items that are matching up. So I could open up this item, for example, from Worldpac, where we bought this bulb or this cabin filter. And you can immediately see the customer invoice that was matched to it. And this tells me that this part generated a profit. So tracking your money and understanding where it's going becomes much, much easier with Wicked.File. And on top of that, this is a view that we're constantly improving on. So this view is only going to change and allow you to quickly zoom in on these charges even quicker. So at this point, if you think about what we've done, we've triaged all of our returns for the past month. We've looked at all the taxes and shipping that we've paid for the past 2 months, found an anomaly where an invoice was charged shipping when it shouldn't have been. And we're able to quickly scan through all of our purchases to see if there was anything that was sticking out that wasn't generating a profit for us, where it might have been sitting on a shelf or accidentally discarded. Now, all of this information is great, but what's even better is where it all goes. Everything bubbles up at the end of the day to your transactional statements, which means I can start to see, and I'll just look at October, for example, all of the different matching transactions. So when I buy something, is there a statement or invoice associated to it, or transactions that don't have a match? So if I come over to my matching transactions, we can see here are all my purchases that are coming in from those statements. And I can immediately click on one of these and start to see, hey, where was this bought from? Or is there a matching document that supports that this item was indeed purchased? And you can see right here where we purchased an oil filter from RBM. On the unmatched side, I can see all the purchases that weren't representing purchases for me. So I can see all of the ones that aren't lining up and aren't signifying that, hey, we actually have the receipt or the statement or the invoice for it. And in some cases, maybe it's not supposed to be there. In that case, we can exclude it. Additionally, I can see on my vendor statements if any of them aren't matching up to my vendor's invoices. So if I open up this view, I can now see, is a statement that I'm getting from my vendor actually representing all of the purchases that I have? Do I have all of the documents? And so if I come down here and look at all of the different invoices on my statement, I can actually come over to the statement view, and Wicked is immediately matching all of those items for me. And if anything is missing, it'll let me know of that. So now it becomes much, much easier for your bookkeeper or your accountant or whoever's going through your statements to do this, because Wicked is automatically matching each and every statement and invoice item. And more importantly, if there's a duplicate statement entry, it will only match one invoice to one statement. So you'll immediately know that there's an item not matching to anything. And you can search on that and start to understand why they were repeating that charge in your statement. And this is how we're able to reduce what one of our bookkeepers, who's a customer of ours, described as, it used to take me hours to do a lot of these different things like returns and statements and some of these very repetitive activities. And now it only takes me a few hours. So just to summarize, with Wicked it makes everything so much easier and allows you as the owner to do what you started this business for in the very beginning, to focus more on your customers. And through the Automotive Institute, we're doing a special discount where we've reduced the price from $299 to $249 a month, and we provide your first month for free. So you can get up and running with the system, and you can make sure that everything is bringing value to your company and your shop, and that this is something that you're able to be successful with and grow. Last but not least, you can reach out to me at my email. It's alex@wickedfile.com. And you can visit our website if you're interested in getting signed up at www.wickedfile.com. Additionally, if you want to schedule some time to meet with me, you can scan this QR code with your phone here, and it'll take you to my scheduling where you can actually schedule a direct meeting with me, and we can talk more about Wicked and answer any questions that you have or dive deeper into some of the features or some of the latest updates that we have rolling out. Thank you.
Okay, so can you all see why I was so excited to share this with you? I mean, this tool is going to save people a lot of headaches, a lot of time, and some money. It's I don't know. I'm really excited to be able to introduce this to the shops out there that are watching. Alex showed me this a little while ago, and it's already had some updates since then. So there's even more cool features that are coming up in this version that I saw. So make sure you hop on so you guys get access to the cool new features that they're going to come out. So I'm going to transition here. Alex, thank you so much for showing us that. I'm going to transition. We have a couple of questions that I want to get asked if you're okay with that.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So one, I didn't see my shop management system on there. What does that mean for me?
Yep. So first and foremost, our priority at Wicked is to build this for the shop owners. We constantly solicit feedback from the people who use the service, and some of our best and most exciting add-ons have come from our customer base. So that includes the shop management systems. Every single shop management system that you saw on that list was one that came from an active customer that we work with today. And if we have a new customer who comes on board, we are more than open to discussing how we can integrate their system as well. So there's a lot of them out there. It's definitely a market where there's a lot of different players and a lot of different preferences from the different owners. And we understand that. And our most important goal is to make sure that this is something that drives value for you. And that includes trying to find a way to integrate with that shop management system.
Awesome. Let's see here. I kind of combined two of these, but we'll. So what if I'm not sure how to use the tool? Is there training available? Is there someone I can reach out to?
Yes. So you can reach out straight to us. So either through our website on the Contact Us portal, or you can reach out to my email. always more than happy to sit down and help out and walk you through, or someone on the team walk you through how to use the solution. In addition, I will be releasing some support material as well that walks you through in very broken up videos how to get your data in, how to create an account, how to do the different integrations. All of these little pieces are all going to be bite-sized videos that you can dive in and out of so you can understand how to use it as quickly as possible. In addition, a great thing about this solution is we have small shops and we have big shops that use this, and both of them are successful. And because this system is very modular, it is very easy to get up and running with and be successful and create value, even if you're not integrating with your shop management solution today. We have customers who aren't using the shop management integration, and we definitely plan to get them more and more integrated. But using things like the return tracker, using things like tracking their shipping, their taxes, all of that, those are all things that come just straight from the documents that they're sending into the system or that their vendors are emailing. So you can be very successful and be very gradual as far as getting everything set up and integrated. We'd always love to see people get spun up as quickly as possible with everything and maximize the solution, but we also understand that some people need to take it in steps and need to, maybe be a little bit more methodical on how they make that transition.
Awesome. So one of the documents that we looked at earlier, it was pretty severely faded and damaged. How accurate is the system, and if it can't, what happens if it can't read a document?
Yep. That's a great point. And this was something I didn't show, but it will be included in the playlist that we have on getting started, which is the scan review list. So we are extremely accurate in our data extraction. In fact, on that instance that you were seeing here today, with the 46,000 documents, we are about 97% accurate, bringing in all of those documents. So,
Off of 40,
very, very high
46,000 documents.
Yes, very high accuracy rate.
Jeez.
And oftentimes the 3% that you see are unfortunately documents like those. Like they look like they've been dipped in oil. Maybe they were under a car for a few weeks, stuff like that. And as you can see, it's a very robust system. It's still very successful in pulling out some of that information. But if it can't, we'll put it into this special category. You'll see an alert pop up in the top left corner that'll say, hey, something doesn't add up here. Can you take a look at this? And what's neat is the logic behind it isn't just, we can't read the date. It's, hey, the total and all the line items you have, they aren't adding up.
So they don't reconcile. So it's noticing the differences between the numbers and going, hey, this doesn't add up.
Yeah, because everything's connected and everything's a circle. The statements are connecting to the invoice. The statements are looking at the transactional documents that you're putting in. If there's any issues, anything missing, it's going to get flagged because everything is reading off everything else.
Awesome. Okay, so I think you touched on this a little bit, but if I'm a small shop, I'm not sure I'm capable of using the SMS integration or the banking integration, how can this be used by small shops?
Yes. So I am really excited to work with small shops because, it's easy to see if you're a big shop, the value that you can get out of this. But what's even more incredible for me is the sheer number of small shops that once they start using this, they absolutely love it. Because oftentimes you have situations where their bookkeeper is working part-time, right? Well, if the amount of work that it now takes them to do things like statements and return tracking now takes hours, that's huge for them because now they can focus on when they're working part-time on things like negotiating with Cintas or going and making sure the taxes are filed for the month. Or now that with Wicked File, since you're tracking all of that sales tax that you're paying, you can go and report that and get that reimbursed, for that quarter. These are all things that businesses can now focus on because they have that greater bandwidth. So, that among the fact that now your paperwork is all digital, so you can immediately access it or access it on the go, which is great for, one bookkeeper who we had as a customer. Her son tore his ACL. And, she was at home with him for a week and a half, helping him get better. So as a result, she now had her entire filing cabinet with her on the go, and it didn't interrupt her business at all. So,
Hmm.
it's stuff like this where, yeah, there's a lot of value for big businesses, but there's a huge amount of value for the little
So,
businesses.
so as a small shop, I can basically just dump these into the system and it will start
Yes.
categorize,
Yes.
plugging them through. But if I do have the ability to plug into my shop management system, if I do have the ability to plug in my emails,
Mhm.
as well as the banking integration, then most of this stuff is automated.
Yeah. Yeah. We have
Okay.
shops who are straight email. They don't want to scan. And, you know, that's
I don't want to
great.
scan either. Save the
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah. And what's great too is, most vendors that I talk to, they all want to go paperless because it's cheaper, right? It's in
It
their
is
best
cheaper.
interest as well. So email has become so much more accessible. And with that email feature, you just send the email over to your vendor and the documents just start rolling in. And yeah, if there's a chance where they missed something or forget to send you one, no big deal, because what's going to happen is that invoice isn't going to match that statement, or that statement that they forgot to send over isn't going to show up on your monthly payments that you've made on your credit card. So because everything is watching everything else, you're able to kind of relax and let that automation unwind, and you only focus on the
On
priorities.
the 3% that was left over, which
Exactly.
might take you, I don't know, just a little bit of time to go through rather than having to process everything. It's
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
cool. Alternatively, what are some of the benefits for somebody who has multiple shops, who's
Yes.
running an MSO operation? Or, well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing is we have customers who have multiple shops. And so as a result, you're actually able to set up different locations. So if, a certain location is scanning up their documents, you'll be able to categorize your documents automatically by that location because it's looking at where they're coming from. From an email standpoint, we actually read the address on the invoice and categorize the document based on the address when we read it. So you only need one email address, even though you might have 3, 4, 6, 7 shops or even more. So that's really, really powerful. On top of that, when it comes to managing all of these different documents together in a centralized place, the biggest thing we see, and this is with small shops too, is the disparity between what the accountant's doing and what the bookkeeper's doing. Well, your accountant can have a user access role to this. So, they can't upload or edit anything, but they can view your documents. So they now aren't ringing up the phone looking for certain documents anymore. Your bookkeeper is now flying through their statements much, much quicker, tracking down returns and shipping issues a lot more effectively. And the owner can sit back and just look at the big picture and say, hey, is all of my money coming in? Is there anything that's sticking out? And so because that system touches the shop managers who are scanning, the accountants who are looking at the transactions, and the bookkeepers in the middle who are helping to make sure that all that information is being processed along, everybody's now working together around a single solution. And that brings a lot of success that we've seen with the big shops who have so much going on. And the small shops, it still applies to them too. We still see a lot of that success as well.
Awesome. Okay. So, I don't remember. I think you may have mentioned it when you looked at the pricing, but is there a contract to this?
Yes. So we do offer 1 year and 3 year options. So it's a great opportunity if you want to lock in a discounted price, and have that opportunity. But at the same time, we understand that there's people who don't want to do contracts. So we have that month-to-month option, which is where the discount is applied. So that $249 a month is a monthly no contract fee that you would pay with the first month free. So that is the opportunity. If you don't want to be locked into any contract or anything like that, great. The monthly opportunity is something that you can then sign up for.
Awesome. And then so say I'm interested and I'm ready to go. What does onboarding look like? What does implementation look like for me?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got a lot of different onboarding paths based on the customer type. Some people just like to run in a direction and get going. And if that's the case, we've got some supporting materials that we'll send your way when you get your account spun up. On the other side, if you do need more of an engaged onboarding, that's something that you can reach out to us for, and we can talk a little bit about, helping to provide some services to help you get spun up. And then additionally, one of the things we will be rolling out, and if you're interested in signing up for this, you can email me at alex@wickedfile.com, is on our email list. We will be making announcements on monthly webinars that we're going to be doing. And a lot of that's going to be centered around looking at the new features that we're going to be rolling out. We have a lot of exciting new features that are going to be coming soon. But then additionally, helping newer customers get spun up and onboarded, and having that collective opportunity for everyone to come together and ask questions.
Well, I think that's it for the questions. For you, again, Alex, this is an incredible tool. I was really excited when I first saw it, and I was like, we have to get you on a webinar. I want to share this out, just because I know how beneficial this is going to be for the shop owners out there who are having to struggle with paperwork. I mean, nobody likes paperwork. So first off, I want to thank you, Alex, for spending the time and sharing, the good work that you guys are doing at Wicked-File. I also want to give a huge thank you out there to the people who are watching this and joining us and who have gone through this and asking questions and all that. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with us. If you'd like to know more about what Alex does at Wicked-File, again, you guys can reach him at alex@wickedfile.com or visit them at wickedfile.com to check out their services. Again, thank you, Alex, for this. But Alex has been kind enough to give us a $50 off your monthly rate for 12 months, as well as your first month's free for anybody who is an Institute client or an Institute alumni client. And I believe the discount code is Auto Business Excellence, and I'll put it somewhere here or in the chat, and people can check it out. But yeah, thank you so much. If you'd like to, those of you out there who are watching, if you'd like to join some of the best shops in the industry, why not sign up for our private community called the Gearheads Network, so that you can get notice of any other resources we share, just like what we're doing here with Alex. Signing up is free and it only takes a minute. And I'll post the link in the chat or something so you guys can check that out. Thank you again all for coming. What an awesome tool. Alex, thank you. Make sure to keep your eye out for more webinars like these coming up, covering a variety of very crucial topics. You guys can check that out at wearetheinstitute.com. Follow us on Facebook or YouTube, or join the Gearheads Network, our private community. And we'll keep you guys updated for the next webinar. Alex, thank you very much.
Likewise, thank you.
And we'll see you all in the next one. Oh, and I just forgot, I wanted to mention that Alex is actually going to be at our summit coming up in January 31st and February 3rd. We recorded this. Yeah, anyways, if you guys want to check it out and talk to Alex in person, make sure you sign up for the summit and come visit us in Florida.